Peace, 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 peace. Hold on one second, family. Give me a second. Peace, 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 family. I want to start off by saying love, truth, peace, freedom, justice, health, and wealth. I always like to tell my brothers and sisters and my fellow Moors and my empresses, we don't complain, Moors don't complain about a problem. We are the solution. We must be industrial. We must understand business and operate as a business and understand commerce. That's what the etymon of organize mean. Organize is an organized nation, Moors. So Moors, we don't argue about anything. We understand that we are the master craftsmen and we're supposed to be industrial. We don't complain about clothing and things, and we have resources to make our own, Moors. And that's what I tell Moors. You don't see me complain about anything because we're resourceful. I have my students, my youth, and we have a printing press. We have the stitch machine. We have the silhouette machine, the printing press. We make our own clothing. We print our own books. And that's what we're supposed to do as Moors and Masons, Moorish Masons. We're supposed to print our literature. Don't you know? It's so much that Moors don't understand because they under religious dogma and they're not philosophers and studiers. When I talk about Pierre Dupont, the archaeology of the Mons of Devarty, write this stuff down in the Book of Forbidden Knowledge, the Journal of the Royal Asiatic Society. This stuff comes from the British Library, Oxford and Cambridge, where they tell you the truth, where it's pictures. And I'm going to play some films because I got a couple students coming over. We're getting ready to make them their hats. And actually, they made some. Give me 1 second. I want to show my brothers and sisters some things before we play the film, and then we're going to be done. Hold on 1 second, family. Okay. We'll be ready in a minute, bro. But my youth and what we do, we don't complain about things. We produce. And so all my youth, my elementary students, when they're at school, they have their own Muslim outfits. They Moors with aptitude. And my young brothers, they wear their own hats and they make their own. This one is MWA, and it's Moors with aptitude. Aptitude, not attitude. Aptitude. Research what aptitude is. MAM, Moorish American Muslim. We print our own things, man. We don't worry about nothing, man. We don't argue about things, and we have the solution. We have the key to salvation right in our hands. For instance, Moors, I'm gonna play a couple films. I'm gonna play the film The Big Six. I'm gonna play the Africans in Asia, and I'm gonna play the young brother, the young Albion European brother that had to spell Nagas, and he didn't understand what it was until he asked for the etymology and the region of the word, what the Nagas was. But I'm gonna leave you with this analogy, and then we're gonna finish up. Brothers and sisters, it was a commercial, my fellow Moors. It was a commercial in the 80s. And when I talk about we already have the key to salvation in our hand, we don't have to do anything stupid. But anyway, the commercial was a McDonald's commercial, and it had Michael Jordan and Larry Bird in it. Michael Jordan, you know, melanated brother, Larry Bird, whatever you want to call it, Albion, European, whatever you want to call it. We're not here to debate this misnomers. We're here to understand history and who we are and how the world operates. And don't get caught up in color, because color has nothing to do with your nationality. I showed that yesterday with our brother Randolph Pascal Beverly Randolph. When Negroes, black and color, and even brothers with feathers don't think they know somebody's nationality because the color of, or the hue of their skin. And Negro, blacks and color, and even Moors, Islam, when I say if Moors ruled Spain for 700 years, who the hell you think they were sleeping with? What women was over there? So that's why the kids have the Spaniard and the Moroccan blood. We thinking like idiots. and not philosophers. Come on, man. If Moors ruled Spain for 700 years, what ladies was there? And what the offspring? Research Paschal Beverly Randolph, one of the first Rosicrucians, all that Masons. We got to know this. We got to know this. So, the analogy I want to tell you about Michael Jordan and Larry Bird, just think of this psychosis in this thinking. Okay, so Larry Bird come in the gym. Hey, Mike, I want to play you for your hamburger or your Big Mac. Okay, so they started doing all these trick shots, right, Morris? I know y'all seen the commercial. Shooting off of this, doing all that. Okay, so the question I have to ask you, what does Larry Bird wins if he beat Michael Jordan in a shooting competition? He wins Michael Jordan's Big Mac. But what does Michael Jordan win if he wins the shooting contest? He don't win a damn thing. He don't win nothing. And see, the analogy of that is we already have sustainability in our hand, and we'll give it away for $1. We'll give it away for $1. And see, and that's the psychosis of our thinking, Morris. Think about it. Just think about that for a minute. You already have what you need to sustain your life. Fire, earth, air, river. And here's somebody to say they'll play you for what you already have for some money. What you gonna do with the money? That's just a psychosis. So follow the context of what I'm saying, Morris. We will sell out and give what we have already in our hand for some paper, for something that somebody can give you, and you already have sustainability. You already have the food. You already have the key. And that's the analogy when I tell brothers, just look at things. We will give what we have for sustainability and let somebody play you for something, and if you win, you get nothing. But if they win, they get what's yours. Think about that, man. Think about that. And that's what happened. That's what happened with the Big Six. That's what happened with the Big Six. We talk about the civil rights movement. When you had those 6 Negro black preachers fighting over some dumb civil rights. But the meat and potatoes, they was arguing over money that the European was supporting them with. I hope y'all know this science. Y'all got to remember when they met at the Carlisle Hotel. Don't you know that was Robert Kennedy's family? That's his family hotel. That's his family. I'm talking about psychosis of history when you've been lied to, not only from get that white man stuff out your head. Your own brothers and sisters will lie to you. The preachers, the teachers, they lying to you. And I'll give you something to compare to. Scholarship. So we're going to watch a couple films. The first one, we're going to watch the young brother in the spelling bee when they ask him to spell Nagas. When people don't do history. When I say, man, everything is hidden. And if you're not a scholar or real researcher, then it's something wrong with you. Mo, all my students, we make the gear. That's why I don't complain about nothing. When you see Negro, blacks, and coloreds, and even Moors on TV arguing, look at Gucci. Man, I don't give a damn about what Gucci doing. We do our own thing, man. We have coats, clothing, jogging suits. Everything I wear symbolizes me. And that's what we're supposed to do. We on there arguing about what somebody taught. And I said, man, these Negroes don't know what nobody taught. They only talking about religion. It's no history. So we're about to play these films, man. I want y'all to watch these films, please. The first one we're going to play is, let's see what I got up for you, Morris. Let me see what I got up. The first one I got up is Malcolm X, when he's telling you about the Big Six. Listen.
The method that the white man uses, how the white man uses these big guns or Negro leaders against the black revolution. They're not a part of the black revolution. They're used against the black revolution. When Martin Luther King failed to desegregate Albany, Georgia, the civil rights struggle in America reached its low point. King became bankrupt almost as a leader. Plus, even financially, the Southern Christian Leadership Conference was in financial trouble. Plus, it was in trouble, period, with the people when they failed to desegregate Albany, Georgia. Other Negro civil rights leaders of so-called national stature became fallen idols. As they became fallen idols, began to lose their prestige and influence, local Negro leaders began to stir up the masses. In Cambridge, Maryland, Gloria Richardson. In Danville, Virginia, and other parts of the country, local leaders began to stir up people at the grassroots level. This was never done by these Negroes whom you recognize of national stature. They controlled you, but they never incited you or excited you. They controlled you. They contained you. They kept you on the plantation. As soon as King failed in Birmingham, Negroes took to the streets. King got out and went out to California to a big rally and raised about, I don't know how many thousands of dollars. Come to Detroit and had a march and raised some more thousands of dollars. And recall, right after that, Wilkins attacked King, accused King and the Corps of starting trouble everywhere and then making the NAACP get him out of jail and spend a lot of money, and then he accused King and Corps of raising all the money and not paying it back. This happened. I got it in documented evidence in the newspaper. Roy started attacking King, and King started attacking Roy, and Palmer started attacking both of them. And as these Negroes of national stature begin to attack each other, they begin to lose their control of the Negro masses.
I hope y'all hear that, Morris.
Was out there in the streets. They was talking about we're going to march on Washington. By the way, right at that time, Birmingham had exploded, and the Negroes in Birmingham, remember, they also exploded. They began to stab the crackers in the back and bust them upside the head. Yes, they did. That's when Kennedy sent in the troops down in Birmingham. So, and right after that, Kennedy got on the television and said, this is a moral issue. That's when he said he's going to put out a civil rights bill. And when he mentioned civil rights bill and the Southern crackers started talking about they were going.
Now, you see what I'm saying, more civil rights. That's the problem. We're talking about human rights. I'm telling you, the more you do history, man, my degrees from the universities is from ancient antiquity history and first century religion. When I tell you, if the pen doesn't match the archaeology, you change the pen. That's the carbon dating, Morris, and they're not going to explain that to you. But I'm going to show you all through history, current, old. Let's finish.
Going to boycott it or filibuster, then the Negroes start talking about what? We're going to march on Washington, march on the Senate, march on the White House, march on the Congress, and tie it up, bring it to a halt. Don't let the government proceed. They even said they was going to go out to the airport and lay down on the runway and don't let no airplanes land. I'm telling you what they said. That was revolution. That was revolution. That was the Black Revolution. It was the grassroots out there in the street. Scared the white man to death. Scared the white power structure in Washington, D.C. to death. I was there. When they found out that this black steamroller was going to come down on the Capitol, they called in Wilkins. They called in Randolph. They called in these national Negro leaders that you respect.
Y'all don't know the names? Let me give y'all the names real fast before we go on.
Kennedy said, look, y'all letting it.
The names. Philip, Randolph, M.L. King. You had, hold on, Morris. Let's see. Oh, a commercial. Hold on. I'm going to give you all the names. Hold on. Let me give you all the names. And then we'll finish. Wait a minute. I don't know what happened. Hold on. They try to get us, Morris. Hold on. Wait a minute. That's this internet is tripping. What is the problem? There we go. I'll tell you the names after. Let it finish playing, for we have some problems again. I'll discuss it. You see that? What the heck, Morris? But we're not gonna cry about it. We're gonna fix it. So just be patient. Let's see. Wow. What the heck that happened? Wow. Hold on. Let me see what's happening, Morris. Hold on. I don't know what happened with that one. Let me see. Can I pull it back up? Wow. That is something, Morris. Hold on. And it's going to get deep, too. Oh, they trying to play us. Hold on, Morris. That is weird. I don't know what happened, but let me go back to it.
Don't suffer from bad coverage. Google Fi, a better phone plan by Google.
Let me go back to it. Hold on. Let me see. Can we find it? All right, I'm going to go back and pull it up. Let's see. Can I pull it back up in here? I have to pull it back up more, so just be patient. All right, here we go. Just be patient, family. There you go.
The method that the white man uses, how the white man uses these big guns or Negro leaders against the black revolution. They're not a part of the black revolution. They're used against the black revolution. When Martin Luther King failed to desegregate Albany, Georgia, the civil rights struggle in America reached its low point. King became
Oops. I don't know what.
bankrupt.
There we go. I'm done. Let it play.
Plus, even financially, the Southern Christian Leadership Conference was in financial trouble. Plus, it was in trouble, period, with the people when they failed to desegregate Albany, Georgia. Other Negro civil rights leaders of so-called national stature became fallen idols. As they became fallen idols, began to lose their prestige and influence, local Negro leaders began to stir up the masses. In Cambridge, Maryland, Gloria Richardson. In Danville, Virginia, and other parts of the country, local leaders began to stir up our people at the grassroots level. This was never done by these Negroes whom you recognize of national stature. They controlled you, but they never incited you or excited you. They controlled you, they contained you. They kept you on the plantation. As soon as King failed in Birmingham, Negroes took to the streets. King got out and went out to California to a big rally and raised about, I don't know how many thousands of dollars. Come to Detroit and had a march and raised some more thousands of dollars. And recall, right after that, Wilkins attacked King, accused King and the Corps of starting trouble everywhere and then making the NAACP get him out of jail and spend a lot of money, and then he accused King and Corps of raising all the money and not paying it back. This happened. I got it in documented evidence in the newspaper. Roy started attacking King, and King started attacking Roy, and farmers started attacking both of them. And as these Negroes of national stature begin to attack each other, they begin to lose their control of the Negro masses. And Negroes was out there in the streets. They was talking about, we're going to march on Washington. By the way, right at that time, Birmingham had exploded, and the Negroes in Birmingham, remember, they also exploded. They began to stab the crackers in the back and bust them upside the head. Yes, they did. That's when Kennedy sent in the troops down in Birmingham. So, and right after that, Kennedy got on the television and said, this is a moral issue. That's when he said he's going to put out a civil rights bill. And when he mentioned civil rights bill and the Southern crackers started talking about they were going to boycott it or filibuster, then the Negroes started talking about what? We're going to march on Washington, march on the Senate, march on the White House, march on the Congress, and tie it up, bring it to a halt. Don't let the government proceed. They even said they was going to go out to the airport and lay down on the runway and don't let no airplanes land. I'm telling you what they said. That was revolution. That was revolution. That was the black revolution. It was the grassroots out there in the street. Scared the white man to death. Scared the white power structure in Washington, D.C. to death. I was there. When they found out that this black steamroller was going to come down on the Capitol, they called in Wilkins. They called in Randolph. They called in these national Negro leaders that you respect and told them, call it off. Kennedy said, look, y'all letting this thing go too far. And old Tom said, boss, I can't stop it because I didn't start it. I'm telling you what they said. They said, I'm not even in it, much less at the head of it. They said, these Negroes are doing things on their own. They're running ahead of us. And And that old shrewd fox, he said, well, if you all aren't in it, I'll put you in it. I'll put you at the head of it. I'll endorse it. I'll welcome it. I'll help it. I'll join it. A matter of hours went by. They had a meeting at the Carlisle Hotel in New York City. The Carlisle Hotel is owned by the Kennedy family. That's the hotel Kennedy spent the night at 2 nights ago. Belongs to his family. A philanthropic society headed by a white man named Stephen Currier called all the top civil rights leaders together at the Carlisle Hotel and told them that by you all fighting each other, you're destroying the civil rights movement. And since you're fighting over money from white liberals, let us set up what's known as the Council for United Civil Rights Leadership. Let's form this council, and all the civil rights organizations will belong to it. And we'll use it for fundraising purposes. Let me show you how tricky the white man is. And as soon as they got it formed, they elected Whitney Young as the chairman. And who you think became the co-chairman? Stephen Currier, the white man. A millionaire. Powell was talking about it down at the Cobo today. This is what he was talking about. Powell knows it happened. Randolph knows it happened. Wilkins knows it happened. King knows it happened. Every one of that so-called Big Six. They know what happened. Once they formed it, with the white man over it, he promised them and gave them $800,000 to split up between the Big Six. And told them that after the march was over, they'd give them $700,000 more. $1.5 million.
You hear that, Morris?
Split up.
I know y'all hear that.
Between leaders that you've been following.
A Negro sell you out for some money.
Crying crocodile tears for. And there's nothing but Frank James and Jesse James and brothers. Soon as they got the setup organized, the white men made available to them top public relations experts. Opened the news media across the country at their disposal. And then they began to project these Big Six as the leaders of the march. Originally, they weren't even in the march. You was talking this march talk on Hastings Street. Is Hastings Street still here? On Hastings Street. You was talking the march talk on Lenox Avenue. And down on, Fillmore Street. And Central Avenue. And 42nd Street and 63rd Street. That's where the march talk was being talked. But the white man put the Big Six ahead of it. Made them the march. They became the march. They took it over. And the first move they made after they took it over, they invited Walter Reuther, a white man. They invited a priest, a rabbi, and an old white preacher. Yes, an old white preacher. The same white element that put Kennedy in power. Labor, the Catholics, the Jews, and liberal Protestants. Same clique that put Kennedy in power joined the March on Washington. It's just like when you got some coffee that's too black, which means it's too strong. What you do? You integrate it with cream.
Boom. Now we're going to play this next one. The little boy spelled Nagas in the spelling bee. Then we're going to play the next film, The Africans in Asia. Let's play this one real fast first. Let's dig, Moors. When people just be talking and they don't show you nothing from a scholarly perspective. So let's see. Come on, Internet. Let's see. Get on there. Stuff just be freezing up. But be patient, Morris.
Negus.
Negus. What is the language of origin?
Ethiopian to Amharic.
What is the definition?
It's used as a title of the sovereign of Ethiopia.
The sovereign of Ethiopia. Niggas.
Negus. Could you use it in a sentence?
The Negus ruled Ethiopia until the coup of 1974.
Negus.
To understand this, you have to go back to what young brother here
Could you
referred to
repeat the
as the house Negro.
Hold on, Morris. He's playing two things at one time. I don't know how that happened.
Sovereign of
There was two
Ethiopia.
kinds of slaves.
Wait a minute.
There was the house Negro and the field Negro. The house Negro, they lived in the
Let me
house.
see something. Hold on, family.
They dressed pretty good.
I don't know. Hold on.
They ate good because they ate his
Hold on, family.
because he left. They lived in the
Always.
attic or the basement.
But I don't know what that's all about.
And they loved their master more than the master loved himself.
Hold up.
They would give their life
Come
to save
on.
the master's house quicker than the master would. The house Negro, if the master said, we got a good house here, the house Negro say, yeah, we got a good house here. Whenever the master said we, he said we.
Hold on,
That's how
fam.
you can tell a house Negro.
Give me 1 second.
If the master's house on fire, the house Negro would fight harder to put the blaze out than the master would.
And did you say the word loudly?
If the master got sick,
Negus.
the house
One more
Negro would
time.
say, what's the matter, boss? We sick.
Negus. Negus. Negus.
You see that, Morris?
He's stunned. But
I hope y'all heard that who the niggas was.
again, when in doubt,
When you let somebody getting you caught up in false history. So let's play this next one. This the great one right here.
The art, science, music, literature, drama, the whole culture, particularly the religion of all the people of Asia can be traced directly to the Africans of Asia. India, Japan, China, just to name a few. Even Afro-American history can be traced directly to the Africans of Asia. I know it sounds strange to you, but the world owes a debt to the Africans of Asia. In the following presentation, you'll find out exactly why. Just give me a few seconds. Your ancestors never intended to let you down. In this book, called The Gods of Northern Buddhism, we find a name, the Asian name of the supreme deity of the universe. His name is Sambo. They say when nothing else was, Sambo was the name of the God of the universe to the people of Asia. And there are many places that carry this name. This is a depiction of Sambo. This is not an African statue. This is from Asia. And many places in Asia are called Sambo Judasia, the land of the descendants of Sambo. Various spellings of the word in the name Sambo can be found throughout Asia. Negas, the divine people of Buddhism. This is the 2nd century depiction of Gautama the Buddha being given his first bath by the divine people of Buddhism called Negas. A tribe in Asia called Negas, the divine people of all the people of Asia, symbolized throughout Asia by the serpent or the dragon. That is their symbol. The Nega means serpent or dragon, the snake. Found at the entrance of every temple, the Nega on the roads, on the hills, in the caves, the symbol of the Asiatic black man, the tribe called the Negas, the divine people. There are cities also throughout Asia that carries this particular name, Nega. It can be seen at all ceremonies dealing with worship of God. From the Nile Valley to the Indus Valley, on tombstones, a symbol of immortality because of the serpent's ability to change his skin is a sign of never dying, and is used
South America, Egypt, Asia, Africa, throughout the world is the symbol of life after death, the nigger, the serpent. In all ancient cultures, in all ancient religions, the serpent is the symbol, the nigger, the symbol of divinity, of God.
Hey, Morris, I mean to stop it real fast, but all this stuff is in research. The last worlds, the world's last mysteries, all that information is here. When I say we come from scholarship, I did this in the so-called African American department at Grand Canyon University, and I had those students crying because everything they was getting was pseudo-academia, starting in the early 1700s and no historicalness. Even the story in the biblical scripture, the story of when you look up in Deuteronomy, that slave stuff that they say, man, they tried to erase the books, but a lot of stuff was written in stone in the walls. And I mean, and all the research, when we be thinking stuff fake because they say what are pictures, they hid the stuff from you. I'm telling you, and put it in museums and put them in, all the stuff is in England and Oxford and Cambridge libraries. Well, I have access to all that. I have elders that work there. I've been to those universities. I'm telling you, when I speak from scholarship. I don't speak from no religious dogma. I can prove that the black man, the Asiatic man, is the father of civilization, proved by biblical history and world history. Just period. But all the stuff is in here. I bought them all. When I saw that they tried to make them available, I wouldn't buy like 30. I bought all of them, and I give them to my students. And this is what my students write about when they do peer-reviewed scholarly research. When I say they don't have to like your candor, but the truth has no sides, and we stand on it. Let's roll. I told y'all, remember? Also, Moors, when I'm talking about ancient books, when I talk about the Mons people, and you see that, the Mons, people of Southeast Asia, clearly related to the Khmers, who formed Cambodia. You got to research that. And this is a research by Pierre Dupont, the archaeology of the Mons of Duravati. The research costs $288. If you can't get it, I got it. And it's there. Also, the Journal of Royal Asiatic Society by Cambridge University. And it breaks it all down. The Varadi Buddha on a monster scale. And it interprets what it's saying. So let's finish, Morris.
The original inhabitants of Southeast Asia was called the Mons, an African tribe.
Mons.
In order to confirm what these people look like, you have to go to the archaeological finds.
That's the research right there. Now, I tell Moors, if you can't find it, I have them. The research costs like $500 and something. You can research it. If you can't get it, I have them. I get all my research from the Philosophical Society because I'm a member of the Philosophical Society. And I'm also a 99th rank of Memphis and Mizraim. So when I go there, just like anything else, I'm introduced to a lot of wisdom. When you go inside the Philosophical Society, if you've ever been there, they have a library, then they have a museum. And only those that's initiated or elite get to go into the museum and see all the artifacts. When I tell you it's a big Buddha in the museum with all the mysteries and all the ancient books. Just facts, man.
Davarati, a French archaeological research finding confirming the original inhabitants. There's no depictions preceding these of the original inhabitants of Southeast Asia. The people, the descendants of Sambo.
So what in the research, man, they're saying there is no pictures or no symbols of nobody from Asia but the Asiatic man. Facts, man.
The seven serpents, or seven rays, or the nakeds surrounding his head, represent the cosmic forces that afford him protection. He is a divine representation of cosmic forces, and those seven serpents represent his divine mission. He does not come of his own. He's a manifestation of the cosmos. The serpents, or the Nega, represent cosmic forces, which is at his command, which represent him as a divinity. He is the manifestation of the universe. That is the symbol of those serpents you see surrounding his head. In essence, the seven serpents are cosmological, dealing with astrology, astrological representations of those forces of the cosmos that he represents. He is a universal monarch, a universal king, which he manifests and he shows evidence of. The black man of Asia, the original inhabitants of Asia. He is a human being of flesh and blood. He comes as a teacher, as a manifestation of God. His teachings are called the Dhamma. He is called the Buddha, the intelligent one who has achieved intelligence, or the genie, the conqueror. He comes to explain the laws of the universe. He comes to confirm that there is, in fact, life after death. When the Buddha appears, he appears as a preacher, and he preaches the Dharma, that existence is a continual cycle of death and rebirth, and that each person's position and well-being in life is determined by his or her behavior in their previous lives. For example, good deeds may lead to rebirth as a wise and wealthy person or as a being in heaven, and a person's evil deed could lead to rebirth as a poor and sickly person, or even rebirth in hell. He preaches that you reap what you sow. A Buddha also teaches that it's possible to break out of this cycle and gain a kind of perfect peace and happiness by practicing righteousness. They are manifestations of God. According to their prophecies, they promise to prove and make manifest through a Buddha or a Jiva life after death before the end of this century. How can you teach a people to know God if he himself does not know God? If you try teaching a Christian that God is also a human being or manifests himself in the form of a human being or makes himself known through a human being, they will say that you're crazy, that you don't believe in God. Meanwhile, they admit that he's a mystery God who is unknown. They teach not to make any likenesses of him, yet they adorn their walls and churches with pictures, images, statues like human beings. They also say he is a spirit that cannot be seen. They cannot see him, yet they believe in him. In order to remove all doubt, the Buddha, the enlightened one, the intelligent one, the genie, the conqueror, decided to make manifest to the world irrefutable evidence. They wanted to prove to a people in the future the manifestation of God, that God manifests himself through human beings, through men. A prophecy is irrefutable. A prophecy is a written confirmation.
You see those statues, Morris? You see all those statues where we are? You see all the hand gestures? And then you get Negro, black, and colors, and some goofballs talk about, oh, that's masonry is evil. Because they don't know history. All wisdom comes from the East. When I tell Moors, research King Menakaru. Research what they have on. All those, the skirt, that's all Egypt. That's all Kemetic science. And the Europeans stole your science. Even the Prince Hall. And then my brothers that call themselves Prince Hall Masons, they have to get authority from some European when I tell them, you don't have to when you were Moor. Because you get the 32 and 33 degrees when you put the turban and the fez on your captor. It's just facts. And 32 and 33 degrees is just a level above freezing, which is a material wisdom. In meteorology, that's when water freezes. I mean, Morris, you got to understand this. When a lower level, when a Blue Lodge Mason, I don't care what color he is, once he passed the 32 and the 33 degrees, what do he become? Shrine. And do what? Put on the fez. And what do they practice? I don't care if you're black or white, if you're under European masonry. You practice Al-Islam. That's not God and man is one. And y'all know I'm telling the truth. Let's finish. We taught the science.
Predicted or prophesied what they would do 2,500 years into the future. The prophecy states that he would send something from the past and join it with something from the future. Something from the material world and join it with something from the spiritual world. The union of both the past and the future worlds and the spiritual and material worlds would be contained in the revelation of a secret mystic diagram called the Mandela of Two Parts. This is a depiction of the future Buddha who would make this manifest at a point before the end of this century. Now the scriptures of the world have all prophesied that the end of the age, which we are now entering, the age of Aquarius, we shall see the revelation of that which is secret and the emergence into the light of day of that which has hitherto been concealed and veiled. This, our present age, is that time, the end of the cycle, the beginning of the new age. This book by Ivan Van Sertima raises the question of the African presence in early Asia. How did they get to Asia? This is the future Buddha. How did they get to Asia? They were called the Mons. And the wind and the rain in Asia is called the monsoon. This is the key to how they got to Asia. The monsoon wind in April blows from the southwest, and in October it blows from the northeast. The monsoon wind blows from Africa to Asia, and from Asia back to Africa. The wind from April to October blows from the southwest, and from October to April it is from the northeast. These two trade routes and routes that of travel is the direction of the Mons, the Africans of Asia. They went from Africa to Asia, and from Asia to Africa.
Look, Morris, let me tell you something else. The satanic spirit always play you with words, and when I say words, it spells, and most brothers that don't study language get caught up in linguistic apartheid. The monsoons, just like the Tasmanian, they make jokes of people. I mean, it just when you just do history, you can, and I'm not coming from nobody's place. I'm coming from a historian, because they pen to tell you exactly what. Everywhere the European went, when there was people already occupying the land, the indigenous people, they either killed them off or sent them somewhere cold, Nova Scotia or somewhere. They did that to some of them, to Maroons, all through history. They killed all the Tasmanian off. Research history. It's there. You don't come from nobody's place. Let's finish.
Like the monsoon, Africa was called Hither India, which India, here I am, come hither, come here where I am. And they would get on the ocean and get in the wind. This is where the phrase, get in the wind, come from your previous life. The Africans of Asia got to Asia by getting in the wind. This is confirmed from the 1st century. The Greeks knew how they got to Asia. The way of things sailors, they call it the divine ship of salvation. The Mons, when they would arrive in Asia and when they would leave Asia. The Japanese badge of nobility is called a Mon. The monsoon, the monastery, Mani, is identified with the black man of Asia. And the largest statues on the planet Earth located in Asia are depictions of the Buddha, the black man, the Jina. His hair confirms who he is. This is the largest statue in China and the largest statue on Earth depicting the black man. The oldest and largest manifestations of God, like this image of the Buddha in Thailand, Southeast Asia, are representations of the black Africans of Asia. There are no other statues or monuments of antiquity that precede them. They manifest themselves on earth and prove life after. This from Ceylon or Sri Lanka, showing the Buddha, thousands of years old. They are the largest statues on earth, representing the black people of Asia, or the black man of Asia, the one who comes back to prove immortality. They do it all the time in all the countries, and they prophesied that they would do it before the end of this century. This is the largest statue in Sri Lanka, the largest statue in China, the largest statue in India, the largest monolithic statue on earth, the genie, the one one who comes back from the dead, carved in solid rock 70 feet high. The largest monolithic statue on earth is the black man, and it is not in Africa, but it is in Asia. The Asiatic black man, the manifestation of God, who comes back to preach and explain the doctrine of immortality, how to escape the fires of hell. That is his sole purpose. To attack him is to attack the cosmic forces of God. He sits in Western style because he will be born in the West. The people who he will be born among are called the niggas. This is the future Buddha, the one who is to come.
You know what I mean? We're going to let part 2 play, and then we're going to be done for the day. Let's see what part 2 play. Because it's like 8 part mores. It gets deep. Yep. I got a whole bunch of films, man. I don't know if it'll play. My internet been acting crazy. But part 2, it shows part 2 more. It shows how in the book of Deuteronomy. Oh, I'm gonna let it play. See.
Irrefutable.
Let me see what it play. Hold on. Yeah, my internet been acting crazy. But it also shows in the stone. Yeah. But it also shows more in stone how the whole book of Deuteronomy in stone. I mean, in stone. Let me see. Let me see. Can I pull it up again? I don't know. My internet tripping. Well, that'll be it for today, though, Morris. But let me show you guys something. I guess my internet tripping. But I'll also show my family something. But we got to do the research, man, and get out of arguing over some religion and stuff, man, and what Noble Drew Ali taught and what he didn't teach. That's just like, and I'm just using analogies, and I'm not here for no one to believe nothing I say or nothing, but I don't gangbang, and gangbanging is choosing sides. That's just like saying I'm going to deal with Ivan Van Sertima, and I ain't going to deal with Sheikh Anta Diop. Or I'm going to deal with Marcus Garvey, and I ain't going to deal with Frederick Douglass. When I say we got to get the good out of everything and let the messed up go. Just like during that time when Marcus Garvey was walking this earth plan, and Du Bois, don't you know Du Bois wasn't with Marcus Garvey? Du Bois was on some BS. Du Bois tried to destroy what he was doing. And a lot of that bootleg stuff came together. You know? Yeah, no one talk about Malik Shabazz. They don't. But that's what we're supposed to do more. We're supposed to talk about all our brothers that came into light. We all come from a place. And that's the thing that really, really, it baffles me with us brothers that come into the light and come into understanding. We forget where we come from. And we must be willing to go back right in the fire and help our brothers, man. From scholarly aspects, not from no squat houses and doing them illegal. I'm talking about understanding law to do things the right way, because this is a way to do things the right way. And if you understand law, international law, you should understand this. It's more. If we could take the minute, I don't care what culture you believe in. It's one nationality. So I don't care if you say you're a Hebrew Israelite and all that. Okay, I'm with that. But those are misnomers. But ask any teacher, professor, scholar, what did they call the Negro, black, or colored man before the Revolutionary War and Civil War, before the 1800s, before like 1825? Ask them. And I guarantee you, they'll tell you. Exactly. I'm telling you. So I come from scholarship, man. I don't come from no argue play. It hurts me to see Moors debating each other and arguing over things. That's crazy about what Noble Drew Ali taught. And I say, man, one, Noble Drew Ali was a student and a teacher. And if you're a researcher, you can get all the documents. He was Dr. Drew. It's so much stuff that you can relate. He went through all the houses. He came into the wisdom. Brothers talk about a masonry, don't even know the essence of masonry. When I say, man, okay, well, who was the mystic shrine that was writing the pictures with the prophet? What was the mystic shrine? Because it talks clearly about them. Matter of fact, let me see. Let's see, do I got the Mystic Shrine right here? We just having freestyle conversation. Somebody answer me if I'm saying something wrong. The Nobles of the Mystic Shrine. I mean, I know it's right here. The Nobles of the Mystic Shrine. And if you, so if, and it says that the ancient Egyptian Arabic order of the Nobles of the Mystic Shrine, started by Noble Ali Rofel Pascal and John George Jones in 1893. These secret societies played a major role in events during the 1820s. But these are many, but in the picture is many Masons shown in that picture. The influence of high-degree black Shriners, Masons, and secret societies. Moors, let's do one thing. And we getting ready to close. Why do we argue with our brothers and sisters about science? Why do I see Moors on YouTube arguing about science, especially about masonry, and then when you see the European with the science and they're using something, what's on their fez? Mecca, Arabia, Islam. Why are you not questioning that? But y'all banging on each other. And I say it's science. They'll tell you what it is, man. So if you're not a Mason, which I hope you are, Moors, because then you understand what's above and below. I ain't talking about no European Freemasonry. I'm not dissing Prince Hall or nothing. I'm not here to diss anything. But I know some of them brothers and sisters, and it's just they don't tell them the wisdom. Like I said, when I come in peace and love, they don't tell them what that fair is all about when them empresses wearing that white fez and a gold tassel. And then when I ask brothers, okay, well, what's the science? Well, if your degrees are past 33 and 32, if you pass material wisdom, well, what's the next level? Because it's not just wearing a fez with an 18-inch tassel or a 24-inch tassel. It's not just wearing a turban. It's supposed to be something under that, brothers and sisters. Come on, man. Somebody, come on. We gotta. That's why only thing I say when a brother say he's an adept and a scholar and a Moor, that means you understand all law and you come from no biasness because you understand the color of law. That's all I'm saying, Moors. And the color of a person's skin tone has nothing to do with their nationality near you. I mean, we got to understand all law, all history, so we can teach our kids this stuff, man. Especially, just like when brothers talk about now 501c3. And I say, okay, well, the Moorish Science Temple, this the thing. Brothers say they Moorish Science Temple of America, right? Okay, well, I'm telling you right now, the Moorish Science Temple of America has a tax identification number. If brothers saying they Moorish Science Temple of America, it's flat out. And they don't even understand why the Moorish Science Temple was set up as a religious organization. They just going on what they've been told. Just like religion. If I give you a Bible and I just promulgate one thing to you, that's all you're going to know. Until you get something else to compare to. And when you see how the temple was set up and why the temple was set up and the wordings, appointed, not elected, so much stuff. When I tell my brothers and sisters, my organization, the Burning Bush Tabernacle, Science Temple of America, is a school, is a 501c3 nonprofit. We're tax exempt from charitable, religious, education, scientific, meaning we can go to the stores just like the boys, just like the Girl Scouts and the Boy Scouts, and ask for donations from our people. Just like we can solicit donations. Just like the state donate like things in the community to us, for we can revitalize our neighborhood and be a charter community and teach from a spiritual education, business, everything when you're organized. So if a Moor diss anything about business, like I said, I'm not here to argue with any brother. They definitely don't know business. And then look at them. Talk about you want to be exempt from taxes. That ain't got nothing to do with color. It's only one way to be exempt from taxes. It ain't got nothing to do with your color. Research the European, and I think it was Canada, and he had a group called the Paradigm Group, and see what happened to them. Talk about he show people how not to pay taxes, and see what happened to all them. Moors, when I say we tell a person to, whatever they're talking about, whatever they're telling you to do, see if they're doing it. See if they're driving around with no license. See if they're really explaining to you the right to operate a motor vehicle and the right to travel. See if they're going to explain local, state, and federal law and what having a driving license, which jurisdiction that falls up under. Because every state is different. Because that is not a federal case. That's a state and a local case. I mean, it's just what it is, man. So if we're going to do science and do work and study, don't get caught up in fraudulent concealment from your own brother. Meaning, if you knew the truth and displayed to you right in your face, you wouldn't do what we'll be doing. But you don't have nothing to compare to when a person coming with just 1 degree of something. And they're not giving you I give you things to compare to. I give you this, and I say make a sound judgment for yourself. But in law, there's no excuse of not knowing the law. You should know all color of the law. You should understand all precedented cases and cases that's been abolished, that don't hold water. And you should understand jurisdictions if you're going to study. So when you represent yourself, you can say for the record and do things and don't get caught up in caps. I said, man, when I told you I'm getting my doctoral degree in indigenous people and law and policy. And when I wear my fez and my turban, you know, I come in peace. And I call the so-called judge a referee, and he laughed, you know, but I come in peace. So he knew where I was coming. So he was like, you know, one of your brothers coming in. I'm like, what you mean one of my brothers? And I say, just because a brother has fez or a turban don't mean he's my brother. There to argue, to try to get some stuff took off his case because it was in caps. Because it was in caps. You hear me? Because it was in caps. And I said, brother, not verbally, but in my hippocampus. I was like, brother, you here. When you show everything, that means you're obligor. That means you said that you're obligated to this. And I say, so caps has nothing to do with if this you or not. It's other things that you need to say before you even represent that bullcrap argument. Because, well, is this you? Yes, but is this you? Yes, you lost. And so all I'll be talking about, brother, when brothers say they study in more science, my next question is say, what is more science? Because more science is a plethora of things. And that's what we don't understand. I'm not dissing no temples or nothing, but if you're not getting science in a temple, when you come out and all you getting is religion, that's not more science. You should be getting spirituality. You should be getting civics. And then the brother, I don't even think brothers know. Look up what the etymology of what civics mean. That's what I'd be laughing when brothers say, well, I teach civics. Okay, well, what's civics? Because civics dealing with law. And then I hear more saying they don't deal with the spiritual. And I said, well, that doesn't even make sense. If more say they have a religion, which is Hebrewism, somebody talk to me. And then Hebrewism is really Sufism. I mean, it's just what it is. And then we can get deeper into wisdom. We can talk about Zoroastrianism. These are some of the same things based off the same tenets, man. And then we can get deep all the way to the science that others use, and we think it's some Illuminati, something scary, and that's all allegory. That's why I say if you don't understand what allegory and parable and symbology mean, you take a stuff literally, and that's spookism. And others are using the science winning on earth and spiritually. That's what we're supposed to do. That's true alchemy. That's true arcana. When brothers say, when I say you are the gold, what's your concoction? What are you doing to transform yourself to a God, Moors? That's what this is about, family. And we just freestyling, man. I got, like I said, I got a couple more minutes and we're going to be out. But this is freestyling, man. We have to be willing to teach, and we have to jump behind those that's willing to do the work. You know, I'm not here asking people for money and things, but it do take finances to do things. I be hearing more talk about, oh, this fiat, and I say, okay, well, what you doing? What's your platforms you're doing? You trying to get money. I mean, it's a hustle. It's the same thing that preachers talk. You don't need it, but I do. Huh? That don't make sense. So we do things together. When I say you are a business, and I say we can create commerce. How? By us supporting and financing the things that's dear to us. For instance, like my school, my temple, our clothing line. These things that can be financed by our people. If you don't like them, then you don't have to support it. But I see us buying and supporting so many things that we don't even like. And we don't even like the people that represent it. So why can't we spearhead our own thing? When I tell Moors, don't you know when you are not a 501c3, you're tax exempt? You can get donations for your people and they can claim it on their taxes. We can raise funds. We can have our own buildings. I mean, our own temples, our own spiritual house, our own education, our own job corps, our own skilled trades. Don't y'all know that? It's hard. I mean, it's just hard for us to get that. Come on, man. This is something that can really be done. I'm from a small city in Flint, Michigan. I'm in Arizona. And I say, brothers and sisters, if y'all in Arizona, if anybody locally, let's get together. I have a whole curriculum. I have a whole syllabus where I teach history, law, business, just like you was going to college. But I teach history from a right perspective, where you don't have to argue with nobody. I give you something to compare it to. Literature too. Because I've done the field work. When you can stand against the oppressor when they tell you about names don't mean nothing. And I say, oh, yes, names do mean something. If your inheritance is attached to your name, you better call me by my name. When people say, oh, a Bible, this, nothing, I say, well, those are versions. So if there never was a J in a dialect, that version can't be right. It's just science. We got it. That's why the prophet said we don't throw away our book. We break them books down. I can show you right in that book from the esoteric, because the book is eso and exo. I can open that biblical book, Moors, and explain the exo to show you how the Asiatic man is the father of civilization. And that's why Negro preachers, white, I don't care what color they are, they don't want to talk about the genealogy of Yahshua the Messiah. Because if we're going to talk about people and things, then we got to really go all the way deep and get in genetics and get to the Igbo, and go all the way back to Nigeria. And where it takes you, all the way back to the same continent of Africa, with Negro, black, and colored be arguing over each other. When I say, man, it's all one melting pot, one nationality, many colors. But we just been taught from a pseudo perspective. And everybody's set tripping per se. You know what I'm saying, Morris? Every book, everything is written, it's all about us. And when I got my degree, even when I got from Grand Canyon University, when I graduated with my master's, none of them professors liked my candor. None of them professors liked my candor, but some of the Jewish professors, the Europeans, they was like, man, but all your scholarship is valid, and they couldn't argue against nothing I was saying. Especially when I talk about history and I come from facts, I'm like, Israel wasn't created till 1948. I show pictures in New York where the more Zionist Jews, Wentworth Matthews and Mordecai and them, they had the six-pointed star and everything before Israel created a state with the American commerce flag. But we arguing over dumb things. That's right. They ain't like my candor, but I stood strong on my square, Morris. And standing strong on your square, and just with your feet out. Standing strong is being able to prove your point from peer-reviewed history, no matter who's there. Love, truth, peace, freedom, justice, and my 2 cents, health, and wealth. And that's all I do. And a person don't have to like my candor. And that's how I'm built. And you know, brothers argue over fezzes and things. Like, my brother was killed by a Negro, black, and colored. One of my best homies I grew up with was killed by his own brother. And then we go back to history and Negroes arguing over who was killing this and who was enslaving who. And I said, well, you go back in time and somebody was coming to conquer you, what would you do? You either made a choice. You either was with it or you wasn't. You either died or you fell with it. And that's the problem, man. A lot of Hitler's army wore the fez. So we can't just associate something that we wear on our head to killing. If that's the case, every damn baseball had a Negro, black, and colored kill somebody in. It's evil. And that's the ideology of the stuff that we do. Just think about certain things. Brothers killing brothers right now, today, over bullcrap. My brother was killed over bullcrap. My baby brother was killed over bullcrap, man. So that's why I say everything is laughable. You know, when we debate each other and things like that, and nothing's getting solved. Nobody's coming from peer-reviewed history. Everybody's coming from their religious perspective. And we can use every religious book. I don't care. The biblical scriptures tell you that you are God's. He tell you that he's the Amen. It said that God and man is one. That's why when I tell people, if you don't understand language, you can't have a discussion. Because in Matthew, I think it's 5:17, this is how a Negro preacher gets you caught up, or anybody. Oh, it's finished, fulfilled. What did they tell you fulfilled mean? Somebody tell me what they tell you fulfilled mean, and I'm going to show you what that word don't mean. Don't they say fulfill mean finish, Morris? Fulfill, it's over, and we've got the right context. And I'm here to tell you to look this up. Fulfill does not mean it's finished. In that context, it's a Greek word called polero, P-L-E-E-R-O. And that word means to bring back to his memory, to magnify. You know, ain't nothing finished. It's nothing that's finished. If you don't understand a parable and an allegorical story, and that's how a person gets you caught up in linguistic apartheid or arbitrarily explaining their religious dogma and not getting with facts and history. You say, I hear you, but I'm going to tell you what this means esoterically, exoterically. I'm going to tell you that all the stuff that you made characters, all this have to do with the constellations. The sun is in the middle with the sun rays off. January, February, March, April, May, June, July, all that. Just like the 12 disciples. Just like the 12 step ladders to recovery. Just like in chapter 5 in our Quran, in our Circle 7 Quran, verse, 12 to 20. Our workman tools. Come on, man. Just like in the Committed in Science. That's why when I be talking this, all I be talking about is the Circle 7 Quran. When brothers don't understand mastery, of mastering yourself, what this remind me of the tools of what? The chisel, the plumbing. Come on, man. I know y'all know what I'm talking about. Right? So if we're going to do the work more, we're going to teach from a historical perspective. If we're going to teach history and law, if we're going to teach that our body is our temple and be willing to do the work, that's all I'm willing to do. Watch, when I show you my kids that's graduated from high school this year, I got 4 kids. Yep, that's right, Mo. I mean, flat out. And I'm glad I'm more on here. We having dialogue because I don't debate nobody, man. Brother, it's all in our. And then when brothers be laughing, I say, well, how can you say you're more? What the man? As soon as you open up that Circle 7 Quran, what it talks about the 18 mission years of who? Jesus. And then more to understand why the prophet used the word Jesus. All through that whole book. And more, and then the first thing more to do is diss something. I'll be like, man, wait, how are you this? You ain't reading the book. How that you say you are more under the Moorish Zion Temple of America. If the prophet wrote a book, his wisdom book that he gathered and compiled from the wisdom that he studied, because there's no debate. I can show you how look, man. At least as Levi, he wasn't all them brothers, man. I can show you. You can compare all the wisdom. You can see the change, this and that. That's what I do in scholarship. I did this at the university. It took me months, but I showed things, and that's what we do as scientists. And if other things is proven valid, we must change it because we don't practice malpractice. You see what I'm saying? But it's certain things, Morris. If you studying. Especially if you studying a Circle 7 Quran, that's the first thing brother asked me, what should I read? I said, man, you don't have a Circle 7 Quran? Then you don't have the Brotherhood of the East when they talk about the circle and the 7 and this Hebrew God and this logos. Right in your Circle 7 Quran, it says this Hebrew God is the deity of Allah. I mean, I know, I hope y'all understand what I'm talking about. If somebody think I'm talking crazy, correct me. I'll show you right in your Circle 7 Quran. You priest of Capvistu. He is the oracle. Who? This Hebrew God, this Hebrew vessel is connecting all the dots, just like our diet, is the biblical diet, the Hebrew law. When brothers get stuff caught up, kosher has nothing to do with nothing outside no European. That the Igbos was practicing that. That's just a way to kill the meat, to make sure it's not a poison. Just like say if we was in the wilderness and say a lion is hunting down a deer. Well, once that deer is running in the wilderness, that deer is going to let out a toxic gas to pollute the blood. Only animals in the wild can eat that. That's why the blood is purified. That's why culturally, when we were supposed to eat things, the Asiatic man, that's how we did it. And we hung it for a while. And others took it as kosher. I mean, it's just science, man. So we connect the dots, man. We don't gangbang on our brothers and sisters. If we say we were seafarers, and they connotated as pirates, and I say you never was a seafarer, man. You were the navigator. That's how certain animals that wasn't indigenous to certain areas, Moors brought those things to certain areas. That's how different crops and different tobacco and cocaine was in different areas that wasn't there. We were players, Moors, not pirates. I can show you how words was changed. That's like the Orisha. That's like the Santeria. They call it the black magic. It's already enough harm being done, man, right now. Right now, what's happening with history? They started the kids off in 1700, slavery. All they watching is slavery. And Negro, black, and colors, and even some Moors think February is the reason why we celebrate it. It's what they say only had 28, 29 days, and that's not true. It was Frederick Douglass' birthday. So we just been lied to across the board, man. We just been lied to across the board, man. Exactly, Mo. And I can show this all through science and history. And we arguing over something. You can ask your teacher in scholarship. It don't matter what tribe you under. Remember that, because when you look at the prophet and when you look at the brothers, these is brothers from all over the world, man. Nobody tell you to give up your tribal identity, but you have one nationality. That's on paper, that can be looked up in all books. Man, look, when you look at Shakespeare wrote about Othello the Moor. He only used Negro in there one time. Because he only used Negro because in Spanish that refers to black, just like Negro beans. But that ain't got nothing to do with your nationality. I'm telling you, man. All over. The reason why we don't know, because it was spelled so many different ways all over the continent. M-O-H-R, M-O-O-R-E, M-U-U-R, M-U-H-R-E. Don't you know Abraham Lincoln was a lawyer before he was the president, and he defended them more in court? I got the documents, I got the books in my library downstairs. This is simple research. This is simple research. Research the Jamaican Maroons. I mean, we're arguing over stuff that don't even make sense, family. We're supposed to be scholars, philosophers, and teachers, spreading light, illuminating things, not arguing. We arguing over a temple. Man, you are a temple. Like I said, I had a temple in Arizona for 3 years. I don't want to put no brothers' names out. Them brothers wasn't right. They didn't study the Quran. When I started speaking of the Circle 7 Quran and things and wisdom, them brothers said, oh man, you on a higher level, man. The Circle 7 Quran is written in code. Excuse my candor. I said, what code, Negro? English? Talk to me, somebody. I mean, Negro was really in there talking about plasma TVs are made out of blood. Man, get out of here with that spookism bull crap, man. Nobody wanted that. Ain't no teaching. What are women? What are children? What are we teaching? How are we building? Come on, man. I love you all, Moors. I'm gonna highlight all my books hopefully tomorrow, man. I've just been so busy, man. I got a lot of things going on. But Moors, please. Our school is going. We're going to be meeting at the YMCA. If you're in Arizona, get with me. We're going to be broadcasting classes, the history, everything, man. And it's going to be a real school with ID cards and everything. But I already gathered and compiled like 10 research books. From our divine creed of Moorish Islam, to what Sufism is, to what the Adapt Wisdom is, to what the triple role of the Adapt Chamber is. I mean, it's a lot of stuff. And if Moors don't understand what the divine creed of Moorish Islam is, I have the literature. I have them. And all I ask for a $20 donation, I'll send them to you. I mean, I got a lot. And it reveals a lot, what the divine creed of Moorish Islam is. I promise you. I have all Moors. I promise you. I have The Divine Creed of Moorish Islam. I wish I had all the copies of my books up here, but we'll highlight it another day. But Moors, please get the literature, man, because the reason why I put it out is when the flesh is gone, man. Just like writers today, a lot of the research I have, man, this stuff is old. This stuff is old, man. All this stuff is before me. All these books, this 1886. I mean, Moors, it's so much history. When they don't understand about the zodiac laws, like the 4th of July, the Independence Day is a cosmic event, the day of the keeper. I mean, it's so much more wisdom. It's just so much more wisdom, man. Brothers wore the fez. Elijah Muhammad wore the fez. They passed out ID cards. Don't you know brothers was taught by our Prophet Noble Drew Ali? I'm telling you. And they called them Muslims. I mean, it's a lot of science, man. We don't have to argue about nothing. The Jesuit letters prove everything. But I love you all, family, man. But yeah, I'm going to share my book list. Please support, please donate, man, because we're going places, man. And I just thankful for everybody that just tune in, and I ain't here for likes, man. But I appreciate it, man. Please spread it with your brothers and your sisters. We can take over, man. I'm going to highlight on our clothing. I'm going to show you one thing, Morris. I did a whole presentation on Grand Canyon University about family crest and about names and things. When you can research stuff, when I talk about the ancient and modern Britons, like, this is my family crest, you know? And so we represent certain things. And this, all my youth have them. Like I said, I got 10 youth. And we wear our own things, man. We got our patches on the front. We make those with our stitch machine. And we got our compass and square. Because this belong to the Moors, man. And if you're not no master craftsman, then you don't understand the sciences, man. We're not talking about nothing outside yourself. We're not talking about no European masonry, nothing spooky. We talk about Moorish masonry. Just like our brother Angelo Solomon, research who Angelo Solomon was. Come on, man. You got to circle your square. 360 is just the sum of material wisdom. But 720 is the total sum of both material and spiritual. You must master your higher self, Moors. Yeah, it confuses them. You know why? Because they're not studying. If they're dealing with some Alex Crowley giving you bull crap, but they ain't telling you where Alex Crowley got the science from, trying to give it to you as spookism. They ain't telling you where Adam Blavatsky, where she tried to say she started the theosophy, who she was taught by. I'm telling you, man, they ain't gonna still taught by Bays and Moors. I'm telling you, this science, man. This all commemorative science. Facts. If you go to Egypt, look at King Menkaure, Moors. Look at everything that's on the nation, the European skirt. Why do you think they wear all black? That represents the melanin. That represents you. Yeah. They say, yeah, the European cultures get the real spooky and confusing. I'll admit to you, I admit you have to enter through the right door. Exactly. And Moors, you have. That's why when Moors be saying they're adepts and they this and that and the other, and I say, man, if you're not gonna grab your brother and your sister Empress's hands and noblemen's hands and take them through the doors, because the key of wisdom is already in our hand, we supposed to be that spark. The adapt wisdom is there. When the law of attraction, it's a lot of things that we're supposed to do. Our mantras, it's a lot. It ain't just reading and doing that. It's a lot of meditation. It's a lot of things too. Conjuring, it's a whole bunch. And if Moors ain't saying that, if a Moor don't understand that, I'll go right downstairs and get the adapt wisdom. That all so-called Moors, she's supposed to have the adapt wisdom. If they don't have that, matter of fact, hold on, then I'm done. Hold on. about to now, bro. Hey, Morris, look. If they don't have this, can you see that? This is the Morse Adapt Study Guide. Ask them more today if this is the Morse Adapt Study Guide, the Egyptian Adapt Prophet and Angel. But what I've done, or this one is the interpretation of the Divine Creed of Moorish Islam. This is one of the books we gathered and compiled. Moorish, you should have this, and this illuminate all the spookism. We also did our own House of Ali mysticism, but we put it in the right perspective and updated it. If Morris said it, this right here, Morris Adapt Study Guide, the House of Ali mysticism, the Egyptian Adapt Prophet and Angel. I'm just gonna start a little bit, then I'm gonna be done. This is some of our Moorish mantras and commands. Don't y'all know we have Moorish mantras and commands? My so-called adepts and sheiks. The step 1 is to what? Know thyself spirit. Step 2 is to know thyself soul. Right? Step 3 is to know thyself body. So when I talk about adept wisdom, man, when we talk about this 720 wisdom, if you cannot demonstrate your will, Moors, to control your lower self, through your conduct, Moors, through your conduct, controlling principles, the principles of love, truth, peace, freedom, justice, my 2 cents, health, and wealth. How can a Moor, sheik, or adept command the spirit of fire, air, water, or earth, which is sustainability? Which is sustainability, Moors? You have to become your higher self to demonstrate the force, which is the will of Allah, made manifest. The theory is comprehensible, scientifically applicable, and universally possible, Moors. And only through fasting, purification, contemplation, meditation can you reach realization of the higher self. That's why we have to study chapter 35 of our Holy Quran. Study it. When people ask me what is an adept, and I'm going to finish with this. An adept is a master of degrees. What degrees? All degrees. A master who has achieved the highest attainment of degree in mastery of the spiritual science, physical science, life science, after mastering the elemental degrees, ascending to oneness with Allah, and bring all the children to Allah. That's why a Moorish adapt master to know the mantra, the command of the words of power of any God form. When I say we don't diss nothing, not if you're an adept, because you know the essence of all religions. You understand the triple role of the adapt chamber, Moors. But it is to know how the personality, or the personal communion with God or that goddess. That's why the Moorish adept is a spiritual master. He or she can, by the use of mantras, Moors, and commands, call forth angelic spirits. It's just a fact. It's in our Quran, chapter 7. The mantra and the command is not spoken as a normal speech, but a vibration, or vibrated from the deep depths of the spirit, Moors. I'm talking about the stuff that we're supposed to study. What's your when Moors say they don't study? And I say, well, that ain't no adept wisdom. Because at 5 a.m. to 7 a.m., the morning prayer, the Moorish American prayer, Allah, the Father of the universe, the Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is the protector, my God and my salvation, by night and by day, through his holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali. Amen. 12 p.m., 1 p.m., noon, midday. Oh Allah, don't let me become weak of mind, nor faint of heart in the midst of the day. Oh Allah, let me not fall to temptation. Give me the strength to turn my cheek to all evil conversation and idle workers of deeds. Give me the strength to continue to glorify thy holy name. Amen. 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. evening, closing prayer, Moors. Allah, bend our hearts and minds back to our ancient forefathers, divine creed and principles. We ask this in the holy name of the 7 Elohim. Amen. To all be said at the end of the holy day meeting, not to be repeated. Only spoken aloud by one closing meeting, Moors. If we're talking about the adept wisdom, don't you know what the adept prayer is? Ela, 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 I come to you in the heat of the day, Moors, across the hot burning sands of time, Moors, bearing my burden, yet I have faith, hope, and love. Moors, give me the strength to endure in the holy name and bless my endeavors. I may not thirst as those whom were driven from amongst men, whom became debased and hid themselves in caves from your face. Forgive me of my sins as I come, repenting from all evil and wicked ways of the carnal desires and things, that I may become one with Elah, a servant worthy of your blessings as an angel amongst the sons of men. As there is no death to spirit man, I obligate myself, my earthly form, to your cause this day. If I don't keep this obligation to you, may your wrath and the sword of your ancient forefathers strike me 7 times. Come on, Moors. Don't y'all know the Moors' protection prayer? It's so much to our wisdom, man. And I see Moors saying that they're not spiritual. How can you? How can you say in adapt? And I'm talking adapt wisdom. You say Allah is my protector by day and by night through his holy prophet Noble Ali. On the what, adepts? On the 7 and on the 10, without saying amen, until you get done with your protection prayer, Moors. Then you put your what? Your right hand over your heart, like the prophet on the DC, right? And the bylaws, right? Where you stand, starting at the east, saying what? Allah, 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 El, Holy Son of Allah. You say this going clockwise, Moors, until you get back to where? The east. Now you step back in the middle of the circle and you ask Allah to protect you from whatever you're going through. And then you say amen, Moors. That clap 3 times to clear the ethers. That's that voodoo, Moors. Come on, man. Huh? We can go on and on. But I love you all, Moors. I love you all. Get down, man. Let's work. Let's build. I love you all.